Welcome back to Young Money. We're about to sit down with Siphile Buthelezi. His story is absolutely phenomenal. Starting off as a young man, pushing his own dream of becoming a lawyer at the taxi ranks. And today we're at his own law firm. And we also know that he's recently been appointed as one of the members of the board of South African Airways. And it seems that's not where his corporate success has ended. And now he's also been appointed the chairperson of one of the most successful entities that fall under SAA. Let's meet the man and his story. Siphile, it's absolutely fantastic to have you on the show. I want us to start with just the array of things that you're involved in. Where do your interests and your passions lie right now?
I think right now, obviously, firstly, I'd like to say hi to you and the viewers at home. My passion currently is number one, law. I've studied law, I'm a lawyer, and obviously then business, which is what I'm involved in currently, and serving the people of South Africa. Currently, yes, the MD of Buthelezi Vilakazi Inc, which is a law firm based in Sandton and Durban offices. I'm also the new board member of South African Airways, and I'm also the chairperson of the board of South African Airways Technical, which is a subsidiary of SAA. And I'm a co-founder of RadioVybe, which is a new social media platform in South Africa. And then I happen to be the Secretary General of PPF. And then, interestingly, you mentioned earlier on that I used to be in the taxi industry. I do still have interest in the taxi industry. Yeah.
How on earth do you balance all of these really important portfolios and business interests? What does the typical day in Siphile's life look like?
Typical day in Siphile's life starts at the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning before going to the office. When I say office, I mean here at Buthelezi Vilakazi, which is a law firm. And then I work throughout the day, and sometimes I do leave the office early hours of the morning, say 4 o'clock. I believe this is the time for me because I'm still young, can still be able to wake up and work long hours, and obviously hoping to retire early. Hence, I'm currently working very hard, and because I love what I do. I have this say that many people say sky is the limit, but Siphile says heaven and hell are his limits. So that's the time I will rest.
So let's go to SAA. When I mentioned that, I saw the big smile on your face, and I know that you're probably getting a lot of attention simply because you're so young, and this is such a huge achievement at your age. How do you then balance a lot of the negativity that we see directed at the SAA board, in particular the chairperson, and coming in as a young person? How do you insulate yourself from that negativity?
I think the most important thing for me, yes, of course, I'm the youngest on the board, probably maybe in the history of the SAA board. I'll have to check that out, but I think I am the youngest board member ever at SAA. I think what is important for me mainly is that I'm appointed or was appointed to the board to serve the people of South Africa. There might be negativities around the previous board and the current chair, but I think moving forward as the new board, we are moving forward as a one team, one component, and whatever negativity that might have been there on certain individuals, we sort of put that aside and focus on turning the airline around. And that's what we are focused on. And personally, I believe that I'm one of the people who have a very thick skin. So whatever you say, as long as I know that what I'm doing is what I believe in, I tend to ignore any negative views that might come.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to go to the SAA Technical. Again, this is a very significant appointment that you've had being appointed as chair. And again, at your age, what has been the most testing leadership aspect for you of having to lead an entire board that you're most likely younger than in every respect?
You know, I think one, obviously the appointment means that whoever appoints you has confidence that you can be able to lead, you can be able to, you have the leadership skills that are required for that particular position. And obviously the good thing is that the people on that board are professionals. Whether they are led by a young person or an older person, they are able to accept being led, regardless of the age of the person that is leading them. I think, and also is I put all that I have in whatever that I do.
Right.
And I'm some people call me a perfectionist.
A perfectionist.
but yeah, I always say I am a very focused young man. And
I want us to go to that young man, because it didn't start here with a big law firm with big appointments. It started in KZN in very humble beginnings. Maybe share a bit of that story with us, and what are the kind of barriers you've had to break through to get to where you are?
Obviously been born in a very poor family. When I say poor, my mother a domestic worker at Worsville. My dad worked in the construction industry. My dad has never been to school. My mom actually stopped going to school, I think, at in standard 6 back then. So those are my parents, and brought or born in a one-room shack in Claremont. And I grew up in a very, 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 very difficult, environment. In a family of faced with poverty. I know what it means to go to bed without food. For me, it's not a story that you hear. I know going to school and then coming back and there's nothing that you're going to eat, But the good thing is that I always say that as a parent, you don't necessarily need money to be there for your kids. My parents were there, physically there. And they kept on, my mom would say, I didn't get an opportunity to go to school, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to go to school and be able to change your lives and be able to change our lives, referring to them, to themselves. Mom and dad, and obviously my siblings. So really, that is my background. And I was told, by the way, that Siphile, anything is possible. And I did listen to my parents, which I think is very important. And up until today, I listen to their advices, no matter who I am now as Siphile, that many South Africans and people abroad know, but I still listen to them and I respect them.
And how do you get into the taxi industry, though? How do we get there?
Having been born in a family as described, I finished my matric and didn't have money to go to, like any other young South African. I know there is Fees Must Fall, a campaign out there. In fact, I relate to that because when I finished my matric, the following year, I did not go to university because I didn't have money. And then the second year after that, I basically worked with my dad in the construction industry, sort of the gap year. I raised funds, and then the following year I went to university. When I was at university, all I had when I started was just registration money. I had an idea, NSFAS used to give an allowance. I saved that to get a driver's license, a PDP. When I got that, then I approached one of the taxi owners who basically operated taxis from university to the nearest town, which is Durban. I approached him, I told him my situation, and I told him that, I'm a young person who's determined to success and I need to succeed. I need this break. I need money for my books. I need money for clothing while at varsity. And he gave me the opportunity. That's how I started driving taxis at varsity. So I would drive from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then interestingly, if I had a test the following week, I would take my books with me and study at a taxi rank while waiting for my turn to pick up my load. And so when it is my turn, I'll put away my books and take my load to the destination. So that's how I lived my life at varsity. So,
what's the biggest lesson that you learned from being a taxi driver that perhaps still has relevance for Siphile Buthelezi today?
The most important thing is that the situation that you are faced with, it's up to you to change it. the problems that you might, or obstacles that you might view as obstacles, you are more than capable to put them under both your feet and walk up straight, and do whatever that you want. And what I also learned there is working with people. Customer care. I know the views about taxi drivers out there, and I always say that if only people could understand the pressure that they have in terms of the daily amount that they need to make, and at the same time need to keep some for themselves. They're under pressure, and working under pressure, and working with people. Sometimes you tend to lose your cool, just in general. It doesn't matter. People will complain about nurses, about clerks at different government departments. The reality is that when you work with people, you tend to lose it. But I mean, there's a friend of mine now who still remembers my day. She will normally say, Siphile, you were one of the good taxi drivers, because that was me. I took, and also discipline.
Right.
It made me to be disciplined, because remember, I was studying law, and some of the fellow taxi drivers were not even close to even studying at the university. But I did not think that I'm better than them. I was very disciplined and respected the customers, which the passengers.
So one of the other of many achievements is that you've successfully launched RadioVybe. Talk to us a little bit about what's RadioVybe all about, and where's that idea going?
Yeah, I always say I'm a man of many talents, and I don't limit myself. RadioVybe is a new social media platform that is available on all app stores, whether it is Android or iOS. But this social media platform, what makes it different from anything that is out there is that it has currently sitting at 825 radio stations from around the world. You don't just listen to the radio station, but we are making radio to be interactive. So a listener can be able to interact with the presenter by sending a text, then it will appear on the other side and the presenter will read it out, or dial into studio using the platform. It also has music. The music side of it, basically, it's innovation. People store a lot of music on their phones, and it takes up a lot of space. With RadioVybe, you actually store your music on the platform. Imagine Facebook with
all
a
your
feature.
favorite tracks on it.
With all your music. You lose your phone, you still have your music on the platform stored there. There's nothing like that currently existing anywhere in Africa.
I feel
or
like
the
in
world.
this conversation we haven't done justice to all the things that you're involved in. But my final question is, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what would we be talking about? What's in your aspiration pipeline? What is the big thing that you want to hit next?
I want to lead this country one day, whether it is in business or it is in politics, but I want to be a leader that young people will look up to and say, young people from Alex, young people from a Clermont, young people from a Sobantu, young people who are Ngoma, who will say that there is a guy currently who's leading. He used to run in these streets, dirty, he used to run around, but today he is leading in whatever a sector that I'll be leading in, and young people to be inspired. Sometimes leadership, you need to inspire other people. If you are not inspiring anyone, you might as well vacate the position, because as a leader you need to inspire.
Well, there you have it. If you're not inspiring anyone, you might as well vacate the position. These are the words of the newly appointed board member of SAA. He's also the chairperson of SAA Technical. Again, a lawyer who has established his own firm, a taxi owner who continues his passion from the taxi rank, and an all-round success. Certainly one of South Africa's future leaders, certain to lead the country either in business or in politics. His name is Siphile Buthelezi, and a name not to forget. And that does bring us to the end of the Young Money Show. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember that if you want the Young Money crew to come to you, all you need to do is just follow me on Twitter. It's @TheRealNozy or @CNBC Africa. For now, it's goodbye.